Vice Chair, and the workers and the employers bench for their intervention and the very constructive spirit of discussion prevailing in the room. A further thank is also due to the distinguished workers from France, from Pakistan and Malaysia, whose information was to some extent not also correct, particularly when she was referring to specific references to geographical names in my country. Apparently she had confused them with the neighboring country of Iraq, and I would shed more light on this. Mr. Chair, I would limit in the time available to me on some questions, mainly on national equality policy, equal opportunity and treatment of men and women, discriminatory law and regulations, discrimination on the basis of religion, ethnic minorities, and last but not the least, the social dialogue that were addressed more emphatically by the conference committee recently. The issue of national equality policy has been of paramount importance for the government, and it is a must, it has been a must, and the government has to abide by the Constitution, which calls for equal opportunity for everybody, and that's true for religious minorities, Muslims, Jews, or Gentiles, Zoroastrian. If you hold, according to the Constitution of Iran, you are to be treated equally. There is no discrimination whatsoever in law or in practice, which could be clearly attributed to certain sect. I would like to make it clear that for those who are familiar with the history of this cult in Iran, a cult started almost 200 years back, they would know perhaps that Baha'is are now having the best condition living in Iran in terms of history, in terms of clashes they had in the past with other people living in their neighborhood. Through you, sir, I would like to assure the committee that this is not the will and determination of the government of the Islamic Republic of Iran to stereotype any religious or ethnic minority or to treat them separately. There is no separation wall in Iran. I know of separation wall extending as long as 700 kilometers in other regions of the world, but for sure I don't know of a separation wall in Iran segregating people because of their ethnic backgrounds, because of their social backgrounds, because of the belief they hold. That is for sure. Mr. Chair, women are mothers, our sisters, and our wives. They are the queen in Iran. For those who have been to Iran, they would know what a great importance we attach to our wives. I wonder if women elsewhere would know how highly we cherish our women. They would have been jealous of them. We treat them kindly, tenderly, and we provide them with whatever chances necessary. Right. If talk to an Iranian woman. Just to give you a figure, since the year 1976 until the present time, we have had an eye-catching increase of 2,200% in respect of the women's education. As it has been known, it is now a common knowledge, 65% of the women attending university courses all over Iran are women. We admit that there has been shortcomings, and that's why we have started some enabling and empowerment program of which I gave some information today. And we are investing even far more on the issue of vocational and technical education of the women, educated women. But that does not mean that we have forgotten our women in the rural area. According to a government decree, all women in rural areas are extended the social security protection. All, indiscriminately. We never ask about their ethnic background, social background, religious they hold. As far as they are a woman living in a rural area, they are going to be subject to the protection of the social security. We also extended through family protection law. We have extended further extra protection to the women. Women, they have more than 7,000 NGOs in Iran, and it is worth noting that, for your information, that presently 40% of highly specialized medical doctors in my country are women. 40%. I'm not talking about 1, 2, 5. Almost half of the medical doctors in Iran are women, and 98% gynecologists, they are all women. That is their monopoly, and they love to retain it. And on the issue of the Baha'is, which has been concerned, I would like to make a reference that the non-recognition of an alleged religious minority in Iran does not imply the non-recognition of the respective rights or the existence of discrimination against them. Baha'is enjoy citizenry rights, including freedom, among other cultural activities, to practice their ritual, to promote their belief in their sect, and to hold high-level educational course for their youth. This is not my word, sir. This is the word of Mr. Abdel Fattah Amour in his mission to Iran. And he has been the special envoy watching on the situation of the Baha'is. My glass is coming from a Baha'i optician. They have the monopoly of the glass-making business in Iran. And when I go to them, I never ask about their belief. I share my concern as to my poor eyesight, and they would help me. And they wouldn't ask me if I'm a Muslim, or if I'm a Jew or a Gentile. Sir, as to the situation of the freedom of association, we are very proud to have a new minister who is a staunch supporter of the principles of the freedom of association, someone who strongly promotes the issue of social dialogue. And he's the one who intervened, as it was very rightly raised by the distinguished Iranian employers, Madame Tassiri. He's the one who intervened voluntarily to settle what could have been a case before this committee for some time in the future. He's the one who promoted the issue of holding an immediate election, and all embracing. He said, let's everybody come, because we have nothing to do unless we have the right social partners backing us in our efforts. On the case of Farzad Kamongar, Madam Chair, Mr. Chair, the fact is Mr. Kamongar's case is very opaque. People talk about his case being addressed in 2 minutes. His case has been addressed for 4 years. And I assure you with substantiated evidence that every possible step in terms of the judiciary and legal law and processes were completed. How on earth you can believe that you can kill someone after hearing his case 2 minutes? You cannot do that even in a martial court. Under fire you cannot do that. So we would provide the information, and we would assure you that we have had some other people in prison for alleged union activities, but we are pushing hard to ensure their release. We have a long list of amnesty, parole, and pardon prepared by our minister. Mr. Osanlu has been already on the list, and we hope he would be released. Some people from Haftepe were released, and hopefully soon we will have nobody. Thank you, Mr. Chair.